So I showed how to do a rectangular piece in the last video. Now I'm going to show you how to do a circular piece. I'm going to work on a circular piece here. So I moved the circular piece on here. One thing you'll notice is this is a component right now. So I'm going to use the select tool and I'm going to right click on it and hit explode. What that did is just turned it into lines on our piece. We're going to set up our hole in the center again. So I'm going to use my tape measure tool, click my edge, and I'm going to find directly straight over the top of the center, and that's the center of my piece this way. I'm going to do the same thing this way too, just to find the center of this circle. Keep going along here until it gets right to the center. And there's the center of my circle. So we talked about an 1/8 inch hole. So what we need to do is we're going to do an offset, grab this edge, and I'm going to bring it down 1/8. And then I'm going to draw my hole and do that as 1/16. And I can erase out that part. Now I have the hole perfectly centered in the center of my part here. Now comes lettering. So I can use this as lettering. One thing I know on one of these, you need to start using some of the smaller lettering. So I'm going to highlight all these small letters here, and I'm going to move them, tap the control key. I'm going to move them right above here. And then it made a copy of them all. Use the select tool, select off. Now comes in moving. So I could do this. I'm going to do happiness. So I'm going to start out with the H, grab on the bottom of the letter, very bottom of the letter. Tap the control key so it makes a copy of it. And I'm going to start putting it on this line. H, tap the control key, A. On the P, I want to grab the bottom of the P, not the bottom of the stick, but the bottom of the circle. Tap the control key, P. Now I can just grab this one, tap the control key. I. And tapping the control key every time. E. S. Happiness. Okay. Now you'll notice it's not centered in either direction, so I'm going to use the select tool and I can highlight this whole piece and I can move it, center that way, try to get it as close to centered as you can kind of figure out, center it up and down and left and right. Now I can check to see if it's centered by using my offset tool, which is underneath the push-pull again. Grab the edge of the circle, coming in, I'm touching there, it's just starting to touch there. I'm doing pretty good as far as centered. If it was off a little bit, I'd stop a little bit short. Then I can highlight this and I could move it to where I need it to go. But that actually looks pretty good. So I'm going to erase out my circle and I have that part done. Now, if I wanted to make happiness run across the bottom down here, what I would do is I would start with the I in the center. And again, I would do an offset and just bring this in a little ways. So I know exactly where my bottom is. And then I'd bring this N down. But now I need to rotate this a little bit. So I'm going to click on this little red plus, and I'm going to rotate it till the bottom of my N And I can zoom in and out, but till the bottom of my N lines up with the bottom of that circle. Bring down the E, go on the rotate. I want this line to kind of line up with the bottom of that circle. Bring down an S, rotate, get it so that's lines going to the bottom of that circle. I think I rotated a little bit too far on that one. Gotta come back. But you can get the point of how I can get it to go nice around this bottom edge. And then I'm going to select my line and just hit delete. And then it'll be nice and evenly spaced and working really nice around that bottom edge. And that's how you get your lines lined up or your letters lined up for a circular part.